Hi there, Brittany.
Hi, Adam.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty alright. A little tired though.
That's
But more importantly, I have a question for you.
okay.
So the question is, what is a dream that you do not give yourself enough credit for?
Okay. I feel like my answer does need some context.
Okay.
So, I am a biology major, a pre-medical. So I want to go to med school and be a doctor, do the whole thing. But I feel like that's like already kind of a big weighty dream, but I've already kind of like determined myself to do it. The issue is figuring out what kind of physician I would want to be.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's not a stigma that's there, but it is there of like being like a primary care physician, like family medicine, pediatrician, that type of thing. That I feel like I kind of, because I'm a girl, like I should just be like a pediatrician or something, or be like an OB/GYN.
Okay.
Instead of being like a cardiovascular surgeon or something.
Or like anesthesiologist
yeah,
or something
like those
really,
like really big ones.
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't even like try to think about those specialties because I'm like, but you're gonna be a doctor, like just be a pediatrician, that's good enough. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, so like you limit yourself based off of, like expectations developed by what, like society, things like that?
Kind of. And then it's like, if you have it in your head like that, like you want to be like a neurosurgeon, like the top of medicine, then like you've given yourself like so far to fall if you don't get it. You know what I mean? Like if I put that as like my goal, then I don't hit it, then it's like everything is going to be like, well, you just weren't good enough to be the thing you wanted to be. But if I'm like, oh, I'll just be like family medicine, then like if I end up doing, something more exciting, like that was like a positive net gain there of like,
okay, yeah.
Like
like instead of setting your hopes up too high,
right,
you're like, oh, I set my hopes like realistically, and then everything else is like, like, oh, it's a wonderful surprise.
Just make it like really low baseline, because then, like, I know I could do those things.
That's fair.
But it's scarier to be like, this is my dream, and like you don't think you could 100% do it. Like I don't want to leave that room.
Yeah, no, it is scary, right? I think that's kind of the thing about dreams, though, is that like inherently there is a fear attached to it, because to your mind, it's not, like you haven't necessarily seen that it's achievable for yourself, right? And there is like the idea that we can constantly compare ourselves to others, and even when doing that, we constantly eschew people as better than us in almost every single fashion, especially when it comes to things that if somebody got something that you want, you're automatically like inclined to be like, oh, well, they're just better than me. That's why they have that.
Yeah. No, that's definitely how it is. Like, it's just like, I would believe that, like, for anybody, like all of the other pre-meds that talk about like the specialties they want, like they want to be a neurosurgeon, they want to be an orthopedic surgeon. I'm like, I have no doubt that they would do that and they would do so well. But then if someone would ask me, I'd be like, oh, like maybe just like pediatrician or something, like just lower, because
like, that works for me.
like I'll just leave mine, because then I don't know. It's just like it's hard to see like myself doing something so well, like I don't want to make that dream if I don't know. Like I'm scared of that, less than 100% sure it would work out.
Yeah. Is there anything like within your past that you feel like empowered that fear, I guess is the best way? Like, was there like an experience where you were like, oh, I really, really wanted this, and then you didn't get it, and then you were like, I'm never dreaming that far again?
I am very much a planner. I like to be on like organizations and committees where I get to plan things. um, but I've always kind of been a planner, and so like even just in like my personal life, if I was like in high school, you know, like if I was dating somebody, like I would think like, okay, well, like then we'll date for this many years, we'll get married in this timeline, I'll go to college. Like I had already like set up all those years of my life of like I want to have kids by this time, I want to have all of these things, and then like I would just have it like planned like 10, 15 years in advance of like a general timeline that I wanted things to go on. And it like worked out for like a few of those years.
Yeah.
But then like you would break up.
Yeah.
And it would be like, well then is the rest of this gonna work now? Like I've messed up this timeline that I made in my head, which was totally unrealistic. And there was no reason I should have done that because like what do you know when you're 18?
Yeah,
You know?
no, absolutely.
And so like I feel like I do that so often, and I'm so like organized that I over organize and over plan it, and you can't plan a life that way.
No.
So now it's like, okay, well we'll just do this one step at a time, and we just won't look into the future because if something goes wrong, I don't want to have to like.
You don't want to face the disappointment.
Yeah, I don't want to have to think like that I messed up.
Yeah, you don't want to take the blame for it, kind of thing.
Yeah, because then it's like if I plan like, oh, like I'm gonna go to med school and do this, and this is how long my residency will be, and this is how long everything will be, and then if like you don't get into that, if you don't match into that residency program, like then what? Like I've just made this whole plan of my life that now isn't going to work, and there's nothing I can do about it. So like, why would you set yourself up for that sort of thing? Is kind of like how I view it, I guess. Like I would rather just pick the safest route and hope that like this would be a stable plan that there's really no chance of me messing up.
Yeah.
And then here are like fun bonuses of like,
okay.
It would be nice if this happened, but we're not going to put that many eggs in that basket. Like we're just not going to bet on that sort of thing.
I definitely understand that.